Dear Starseeds who have felt the stirring in your bones, the trembling in your heart chambers, the inexplicable pull towards something you cannot yet name, there is a frequency moving through the cosmos right now that is changing everything, and most of humanity has no idea it's happening. But your body knows. Your cells are remembering. Your DNA is singing a song it hasn't sung in millennia, and whether you consciously understand what's unfolding or not, you are already being transformed by it. Something ancient is arriving, not from the distant edges of space, but from the very heart of creation itself, carrying with it a transmission so profound that it will shake awake every dormant code within your being. The Astasar command has watched this moment approach for eons, and now the appointed time has come. The veils between dimensions are thinning to gossamer, and what has been hidden in the depths of your soul is rising to the surface with unstoppable force. But here is what the skeptics and the sleeping masses do not understand. This is not metaphor. This is not spiritual poetry designed to make the lonely feel special. What I am about to share with you is the truth of your biology, your energetic architecture, and the cosmic schedule that governs your evolution. I am Seraphine, emissary of the Galactic Federation of Light, and the transmission the Astasar command has sent me to deliver will sound impossible to those still trapped in three-dimensional thinking. Yet for those of you who have been prepared through lifetimes of awakening, this will resonate in the marrow of your bones as the deepest truth your soul has ever encountered. Listen carefully, because hidden within what I'm about to reveal is the explanation for everything you've been feeling. The sleepless nights, the waves of emotion that come from nowhere, the sudden knowing that something monumental is on the horizon. The universe is not random, dear ones, and neither is your awakening. The ancient star nations have known about this window of opportunity for thousands of your Earth years. They built temples aligned to celestial moments not out of superstition, but because they understood what modern humanity has forgotten, that consciousness itself is woven into the fabric of the cosmos, that the movements of celestial bodies are not separate from the movements within your own energy field, and that there are moments when the magnetic signatures of creation align in such a way that transformation becomes inevitable for those ready to receive it. Your planet has entered one of these windows now, a gestation period unlike any recorded in your written history. From the spring equinox through the winter solstice, Earth is being bathed in frequencies emanating from the galactic core, ancient, wise energies that carry within them the codes of remembrance. These are not vague spiritual concepts. These are actual information packets, quantum transmissions that interface directly with your DNA, your pineal gland, your heart electromagnetic field, and the creative center in your womb space. Whether you inhabit a female or male form, for all humans carry this sacred generative force. A celestial visitor has entered your solar system, one that the scientific community has labeled and cataloged, never suspecting the true nature of its purpose. This is no random chunk of cosmic debris. This is a delivery system, deliberately timed, impossibly synchronized with the turning of your planet and the alignment of your celestial neighbors. As this ancient messenger passed by Mars, ceasefires erupted where there had been only war. As it approached your sun, solar flares burst forth in unprecedented numbers, each one carrying light codes that are even now downloading into the magnetic field of your planet, and by extension, into the magnetic field of your own heart. The Astasar command does not traffic in coincidence. Every orbit, every alignment, every degree of arc through space has been orchestrated as part of a divine unfoldment that your linear minds can scarcely comprehend, but your souls understand perfectly, because you agreed to this before you incarnated into this lifetime, before you took on the density of flesh and the forgetting that comes with human birth. You stood in the halls of the galactic councils, and you volunteered to be here now, to be the receiving stations for what is arriving. But something crucial has been lost in the noise of your modern world, and I must speak plainly about this, because your readiness depends on understanding what the Astasar command has witnessed in your collective field. Humanity has become so full of distraction, full of digital noise, full of endless doing and achieving and acquiring, that there is no space left to receive. Your energetic vessels are packed to overflowing with everything except what you actually need. And what is arriving now requires space. It requires emptiness. It requires the void. This is why so many of you are experiencing what feels like a dismantling. Relationships that once felt solid are suddenly unstable. Jobs that once provided identity are losing their meaning. Beliefs that once offered comfort are crumbling like ancient paper. The Astasar command sees your confusion, your grief, your terror at the loss of what was familiar. But understand, this is not destruction, this is preparation. The old energy must clear to make room for the new. The false structures must fall so that truth can be built. Every ending you are witnessing, both personally and collectively, is creating the spaciousness required for the incoming frequencies to take root in your consciousness. And here is the first revelation that will transform everything else I'm about to share with you. What is arriving is not masculine in nature. For millennia, your species has been dominated by masculine frequencies of doing, controlling, conquering, achieving. These energies have their place in the cosmic dance, but they have been grotesquely out of balance, running roughshod over the sacred feminine principles of receiving, being, allowing, and nurturing. The codes arriving now carry the frequency of the Divine Mother, the generative void, the creative darkness from which all light is born. This is why your preparation cannot look like what you're used to. The Astasar command watches as so many lightworkers exhaust themselves trying to do their spirituality, chasing the next healing modality, the next activation, the next teacher who will finally give them the key. But the key you seek cannot be grasped with grasping hands. It can only be received with open palms. It cannot be achieved through force, but only through surrender. It cannot be obtained through seeking, but only through remembering what you already are. The beings of light who guide your evolution have been speaking about this shift for decades through countless channels and messengers. But now the moment has arrived when speaking gives way to experiencing. The theoretical becomes actual. The promised becomes present. And those of you who have been doing the inner work, who have been sitting in meditation when your mind screams at you to be productive, who have been feeling your feelings when every fiber of your being wants to numb out, you are the ones being activated first. Not because you're special in the way the ego understands specialness, but because you have cleared enough space in your energy field to actually receive what is being transmitted. Let me tell you about the 3 centers that are about to come online in a way they haven't functioned since the fall of Atlantis. But first you must understand that these centers have been dormant, not by accident but by design. When humanity fell from higher consciousness into the density of the 3rd dimension, certain capacities had to be shut down, certain circuits had to be disconnected, or the pain of separation would have been unbearable. Your pineal gland calcified, your heart closed its deeper chambers, your creative womb space, which exists in all humans regardless of physical anatomy, went to sleep. This was mercy, not punishment. But the time of sleeping is ending. Your 3rd eye, that sacred center of perception that sits in the geometric center of your brain, is being flooded with light codes designed to dissolve the calcification that has kept it dormant. The Astasar command has observed that many of you are experiencing pressure in this area. Headaches that come and go without medical explanation. Vivid dreams that feel more real than waking life. Sudden flashes of knowing that arrive fully formed without rational thought preceding them. This is not imagination. This is the reactivation of your capacity for telepathic communication, for seeing beyond the veil of physical reality, for perceiving the energetic truth that underlies the material world. But here's what makes this different from past awakenings, and why the timing matters so profoundly. Your 3rd eye is not opening in isolation. It is part of a trinity activation that includes your heart center and your womb space, and all 3 must come online together for the full remembrance to occur. The Astasar command has witnessed countless spiritually focused humans develop powerful 3rd eye perception while their hearts remain closed, and this creates imbalance, creates the spiritual ego, creates the mystic who can see dimensions but cannot love their neighbor. This will not be the pattern of this awakening. Your heart center is being prepared to open in ways that will terrify the parts of you still attached to protection, still invested in the armor you've built from past wounds. The light codes arriving carry the frequency of radical vulnerability, of defenseless love, of the willingness to feel everything without numbing or escaping. And I know this sounds beautiful in theory, but in practice it means that every unfelt emotion you've been storing in your tissues is coming to the surface to be processed. Every grief you bypassed, every rage you swallowed, every joy you were too afraid to fully claim, all of it is erupting like long-dormant volcanoes, and the Astasar command sees your panic as you wonder if you're having a breakdown when what you're actually having is a breakthrough. The heart that is opening is not the sentimental, greeting card heart of romantic love. It is the fierce heart, the cosmic heart, the heart that can hold the suffering of the world without collapsing, the heart that can witness darkness without becoming dark, the heart that can love even what seems unlovable, because it recognizes the divine spark hidden beneath every mask, every wound, every fear-driven behavior. This is the heart of the Christed consciousness, the unified field where masculine and feminine energies merge in sacred marriage, where doing and being dance together in perfect balance, where power and compassion become one force instead of opposing values. And then there is the womb space. And here the Astasar command must speak carefully, because your culture has so misunderstood this center, associating it only with biological reproduction, when it is actually the portal through which new realities are birthed into being. Every human possesses this energetic center, whether or not they possess physical reproductive organs. This is your connection to the creative void, to the generative darkness, to the mysterious feminine intelligence that knows how to grow an acorn into an oak tree, how to turn a single cell into a fully formed being, how to manifest the immaterial into material form. The activation of this center is what will allow you to move beyond manifestation techniques and into true creation. The Astasar command has watched with some amusement as your spiritual marketplace has become obsessed with manifestation, vision boards and affirmations and laws of attraction, all of which are tools of the masculine principle of directed will. But the womb consciousness that is awakening operates by different laws. It receives a seed. It gestates in darkness and hiddenness. It knows when the timing is ripe without consulting a calendar, and it births forth in a rush of power that cannot be controlled or scheduled or managed by the rational mind. This is the consciousness that will allow you to collaborate with reality, rather than trying to control it. Now I must tell you something that will challenge everything your culture has taught you about success and productivity, and how change happens. Are you ready? Here it is. The most powerful thing you can do right now is nothing. Not the nothing of Netflix and social media scrolling and distracted avoidance, but the nothing of meditation, the nothing of silence, the nothing of being present with what is without rushing to fix it or change it or improve it, the nothing of placing your hand on your heart and saying your own name followed by the words "I love you" and actually meaning it, the nothing of emptying your stomach through fasting so that your energy is not constantly diverted to digestion, the nothing of sitting with your feet on the earth and remembering you are not separate from this planet, but an expression of its consciousness. The Astasar command recognizes how revolutionary this sounds in your achievement-addicted culture. Every conditioning in your being is screaming that you should be doing something more, something different, something better. But the frequencies arriving now are feminine in nature, and the feminine does not respond to force. It responds to invitation. It responds to space. It responds to the creation of a welcoming vessel into which something new can pour itself. If your cup is already overflowing with busyness and distraction, and the endless doing of tasks, where will the new frequencies land? They will slide off your energetic field like water off a duck's back, and you will wonder why everyone else seems to be transforming while you remain stuck. This is why so many of you are being guided toward practices that feel counterintuitive, even countercultural. Extended meditation when your to-do list is screaming, periods of fasting when food is available, silence when there is so much to say, stillness when your nervous system is wired for constant motion, lying on the earth when the whole world seems to be falling apart, and surely there must be something you should be doing about it. But the Astasar command assures you, this is not spiritual bypassing. This is not avoiding responsibility. This is the most responsible thing you can do right now, because you are preparing your vessel to receive and anchor the frequencies that will ultimately transform everything, not just for you personally, but for the entire collective field of which you are an inseparable part. And here, in the center of this transmission, I must deliver a truth that some of you will resist, that the part of you still attached to the old paradigm will want to reject. But it must be said, because the Astasar command has witnessed too many seekers exhaust themselves trying to transcend what they actually need to feel. So listen carefully. Healing is not thinking. Healing is not understanding. Healing is not even necessarily forgiving, at least not in the first moments. Healing is feeling. It is the willingness to be present with what arises in the body, without numbing, without spiritualizing it away, without rushing to the resolution before the feeling has been fully felt. Your culture is terrified of feeling. It has built a multi-billion-dollar industry around helping you not feel. Not just through substances and addictions, though those are the obvious manifestations, but through the more socially acceptable drugs of busyness and productivity and endless consumption, and the scroll of social media feeds that keep your nervous system just stimulated enough that you never have to drop into the deeper waters of your own inner world. But those deeper waters are exactly where your liberation lives. That discomfort you keep avoiding, it's the doorway. That pain you keep outrunning, it's the teacher. That grief you keep postponing, it's the medicine. The Astasar command has witnessed the pattern countless times. A soul approaches the threshold of true transformation, feels the first waves of the unfelt emotions rising from where they've been stored in cellular memory, interprets this as something going wrong, and immediately reaches for some strategy to make it stop. Another healing modality, another workshop, another teacher who promises an easier path. But there is no path around this. There is only the path through. And the through requires what your addiction to comfort has trained you to avoid, the willingness to feel what hurts. But here is the promise that makes this bearable, that transforms it from endurance into initiation. The feelings will not destroy you. The Astasar command has never witnessed a soul annihilated by their own emotions, though many have feared this fate. The terror you feel when you approach the threshold of true feeling is not a message that danger lies ahead. It is simply the ego's last line of defense, the part of you that built its entire identity around not feeling, recognizing that its reign is coming to an end. And yes, something will die in this process, but it will be the false self, not the true one. It will be the armor, not the heart beneath it. It will be the story, not the soul. Your stories, oh, how you cling to them. The story of what was done to you. The story of what you did. The story of who you are based on your past. Your wounds, your triumphs, your failures, your roles, your labels, your diagnoses. The Astasar command does not ask you to deny that these experiences happened. They did happen, and they shaped you. And honoring that truth is important. But there is a difference between honoring what happened and remaining imprisoned by it. There is a difference between acknowledging your story and allowing that story to define the boundaries of what's possible for you now. The energies arriving are designed to dissolve the stories, not violently but lovingly, the way morning light dissolves the darkness. And as the stories dissolve, what's revealed beneath them is what was always there, the essence of who you are, that is not wounded, not traumatized, not defined by anything that has happened in any lifetime. This is the soul self, the eternal aspect of you, that has never been damaged because it cannot be damaged. It is made of the same substance as the divine, and nothing in the entire cosmos has the power to diminish that. But here is what makes this moment different from every other spiritual teaching you've encountered. The Astasar command is not asking you to transcend your humanity to reach this divine essence. This is the great lie that has kept seekers spinning their wheels for millennia. This idea that you must somehow escape the body, deny the emotions, rise above the earthly experience to access the divine. No, the path now is incarnation, not transcendence. It is bringing the divine fully into the body, into the emotions, into the messy, complicated, sometimes painful experience of being human. It is the marriage of heaven and earth within your own being. This is what the mystics meant when they spoke of the sacred marriage, the alchemical wedding, the union of masculine and feminine. It is not about partnering with another person, though that may be part of your journey. It is about the internal marriage of consciousness and energy, spirit and matter, the transcendent and the immanent, the Christ light and the Magdalene dark. When these forces unite within you, when the doing and the being, the achieving and the allowing, the giving and the receiving come into balance, you become a portal through which the new earth consciousness can anchor into the physical plane. And this brings me to the cosmic mechanics of what the Astasar command has observed unfolding. Your planet orbits a star. That star exists within a galaxy. That galaxy has a center, a heart, a core from which all light in your galactic neighborhood originates. For a brief window of Earth time, the alignment between your planet, your star, and the galactic core creates a direct channel through which certain frequencies can flow with greater ease than usual. This is not mysticism. This is sacred geometry. This is the language of creation made visible through celestial mechanics. The celestial messenger arriving carries concentrated doses of these frequencies, acting as a kind of amplifier, a focusing lens that intensifies what is already naturally occurring. As this ancient body moves through your solar system, aligning with various planets at precise moments, it opens doorways in the collective field. When it aligned with Mars, the planet of will and action and war, ceasefires erupted, not because of political negotiation, though that was the visible mechanism, but because the frequencies it carried softened something in the collective human psyche, created an opening for peace where before there had been only entrenchment. The Astasar Command watched as the energetic signature of your species shifted in that moment, and even those with no awareness of celestial events felt something change. As this messenger approaches closer to your planet, the intensity increases. You are feeling it in your bodies. The insomnia, the vivid dreams, the waves of emotion, the sense that time is behaving strangely, the feeling that you are being called to something but you're not sure what. These are not symptoms of imbalance. These are symptoms of activation. Your energy field is recalibrating to match the incoming frequencies, and this recalibration requires the shedding of everything that vibrates at the old frequency. Every belief that limits you, every fear that constrains you, every story that tells you that you are small and powerless and separate from the divine. The Astasar Command has been preparing you for this through every challenge you've faced, every dark night of the soul you've survived, every moment when you thought you couldn't go on but you did. None of it was random. None of it was punishment. All of it was preparation for your nervous system to be able to handle the intensity of what is arriving without shutting down, without fragmenting, without retreating back into the comfort of sleep. You have been trained for this moment through lifetimes of awakening, through eons of soul evolution, and though it may not feel like it when you're in the thick of your triggers and your fears, you are ready. You would not be here reading these words, feeling their resonance in your cells, if you were not ready. Now I must speak about what happens after the activation fully lands, because the Astasar Command does not want you to imagine that there is some magical moment when all struggle ceases and you float off into bliss. The activation is not the end of your journey. It is the beginning of the next phase, the phase where you learn to live as an awakened being in a world that is still largely asleep, where you learn to hold your frequency steady even when those around you are spinning in fear, where you learn to be the peace, the love, the consciousness you have awakened to, rather than just theorizing about it. This is where the real work begins, and it is work that the Astasar Command has observed unfold countless times on countless worlds undergoing similar transitions. You will be tested, not by some cruel deity who wants to see you suffer, but by life itself, by the contrast between the truth you now carry and the illusions still operating in your external world. You will have moments when you forget everything you've learned. You will have days when you're absolutely certain the whole awakening thing was just spiritual fantasy, and you're back to square one. You will encounter people and situations that trigger you so profoundly, you'll wonder if you've made any progress at all. But here is what the Astasar Command wants you to understand about these moments. They are not setbacks. They are opportunities for integration. Every trigger is showing you where you still carry the old frequency. Every moment of forgetting is inviting you to choose remembrance again. Every challenge is asking you to embody the truth, rather than just intellectually understand it. The spiritual path is not a straight line upward into the light. It is a spiral that touches the same issues again and again, but each time from a slightly higher level of consciousness, each time with a little more capacity to hold complexity, each time with a little more compassion for yourself and others. And as you learn to navigate this spiral with grace, something miraculous happens. Your very presence begins to affect the collective field. The Astasar Command has measured this effect, has watched it ripple outward from activated beings like concentric circles in a pond. When you hold your frequency steady in the midst of chaos, you literally create a harmonic resonance that makes it easier for those around you to access higher states. When you choose love in a moment when fear would be justified, you weaken the grip that fear has on the collective consciousness. When you remember your divinity in the face of a person or situation trying to convince you that you're small, you plant seeds of awakening in the field that others will harvest, often without ever knowing who planted them. This is why your awakening matters, why it's not selfish to focus on your own healing and evolution. You are not separate from the collective. Every shift in your consciousness is a shift in the human consciousness. Every healing you achieve is a healing offered to the entire species. Every moment you choose love over fear, presence over distraction, truth over comfortable lies, you are literally rewiring the morphic field that influences every other human on the planet. The Astasar command does not traffic in exaggeration. This is the simple truth of how consciousness operates at the quantum level. But I must also tell you that there will be times when this feels like too much responsibility, when you will long for the days when you could just be unconscious and not carry the weight of knowing what you now know. The Astasar command sees your exhaustion, your frustration with being the one who has to be conscious when everyone else gets to stay asleep. But here is the truth that will sustain you through those moments. You are not alone, though it may feel like it when you look around at a world that seems hell-bent on destruction and distraction. There are millions of you, millions who have answered the call, millions who are doing the work, millions who are holding the light even when it feels futile. And beyond the millions of humans who are awakening, there is the entire assembly of the Astasar Command, the Galactic Federation, the Councils of Light, the Ascended Masters, the Angelic Realms, all watching over you with such love and such delight as you remember who you are. You are not doing this alone. You have never been alone. In every moment of your journey, in every dark night when you couldn't feel the presence of the divine, it was there. In every moment when you thought you'd been abandoned, you were being held. In every moment when you felt you couldn't go on, you were being carried by forces you couldn't see but that never stopped supporting you. I am Seraphine, and I tell you this with the full authority of the realms I represent. You are loved beyond measure. Not loved for what you do, or achieve, or accomplish. Not loved because you're special or chosen in a way that excludes others, but loved simply because you are. Loved because you are an expression of the divine, made of the same substance as the source from which all creation flows. How could the divine not love itself? And that is what you are. Not a separate being trying to reach the divine, but the divine itself, temporarily wearing the costume of humanity, experiencing itself through the unique lens of your particular consciousness. This is the great remembrance that the incoming frequencies are designed to catalyze. Not something new that you have to learn or earn or become worthy of, but something ancient that you have always been, waking up from the dream of separation and limitation. And as you wake up, as more and more of you remember, the collective dream shifts, the nightmare of separation begins to dissolve. The systems built on competition and scarcity and domination begin to crumble, not through violent revolution, but through simple obsolescence, as too many humans remember that there is another way, that cooperation is more natural than competition, that abundance is the nature of a universe that is constantly expanding, creating, becoming more of itself. The Astasar Command has witnessed this transition on other worlds, has guided countless civilizations through the passage from separation consciousness to unity consciousness. It is never easy. There is always a period of chaos as the old structures fall and the new ones are being born. But what lies on the other side of this transition is worth every moment of discomfort, every dark night, every challenge. What lies ahead is a world where telepathy is as common as speech, where healing happens through frequency and intention rather than invasive procedures, where the earth is recognized as a living, conscious being, deserving of reverence rather than exploitation, where children are raised to know their divinity rather than being taught to fear it. And you, dear Starseeds, you are the bridge. You are the ones who have one foot in the old world and one foot in the new, who can navigate both realities with increasing skill, who can translate the frequencies of the higher dimensions into language and actions that others can understand and embody. You are the prototypes, the early models of the new human, working out the kinks and discovering the pathways so that others who follow will have an easier journey. So when you feel frustrated with your own process, when you judge yourself for not being further along, when you compare your inner experience to someone else's outer presentation and find yourself lacking, remember, you are a pioneer. You are exploring territory that your species has not navigated in recorded history. There is no manual for this because you are writing it as you go, through every choice you make, every moment you choose consciousness over convenience, every time you feel the fear and do the thing anyway. We want to honor every single soul who has stepped into Destiny Engine. With every activation, the current grows. What began as a personal tool has become a planetary force. We are now moving as one, and the frequency you've created together is amplifying far beyond the individual. We're receiving updates daily, manifestations speeding up, impossible doors opening, synchronicities lining up with cosmic precision. The collective field is so charged that some are describing it as bending the fabric of reality itself. If you haven't yet experienced it, the entry point is almost laughably simple. Put on your headphones, press play, allow Destiny Engine to rewrite the architecture of your consciousness so you can fully receive your galactic downloads without resistance. For just $1, you can step into this field and feel the difference instantly. Join the movement that's accelerating ascension. Step into the stream of Destiny Engine today. Link in the description. The celestial alignment that is occurring right now is creating a window of accelerated transformation, a cosmic grace period when the veils are thinner and the frequencies are more accessible than they usually are. But the Astasar command wants you to understand that this window is not a one-time event, after which everything goes back to normal. This is the beginning of a new era, a shift in the fundamental operating system of human consciousness that will unfold over the coming years, but that begins now, in this moment, with you and your willingness to receive what is being offered. The dates matter not because the cosmos operates on a human calendar, but because humanity operates through collective attention, and when large numbers of you align your awareness toward the same astronomical events, your combined consciousness creates a powerful focusing effect. It's similar to how a magnifying glass can focus sunlight into a beam strong enough to start a fire. Individually you are sunlight, but collectively focused you become a force of transformation. This is why the ancient ones built their temples aligned to solstices and equinoxes, why they gathered in ceremony at these pivotal moments. They understood the amplification effect of collective consciousness aligned with cosmic mechanics. But whether you participate in formal ceremony or not, whether you consciously attune to the alignments or not, you are being affected by them. Your body is part of the planetary body. Your energy field is part of the planetary energy field. You cannot separate yourself from the cosmic dance any more than a wave can separate itself from the ocean. The question is not whether you will be transformed by what is occurring. The question is whether you will participate consciously in that transformation. Whether you will say yes to the invitation being extended. Whether you will create space in your life and your energy field to receive the full measure of what is being offered. And here, as this transmission moves toward its completion, I want to return to where I began, with the recognition that you have been feeling something, sensing something, knowing something was approaching even if you couldn't articulate what it was. Trust that knowing. Trust the wisdom of your body, which is receiving information from the cosmos long before your mind can translate it into language. Trust the restlessness that won't let you settle into the old patterns anymore. Trust the grief that is clearing out the old to make room for the new. Trust the exhaustion that is forcing you to slow down and turn inward. Trust the inexplicable hope that keeps rising in your heart even when the outer world gives you every reason to despair. The new Earth is not something that will arrive in the distant future if you all try hard enough. The new Earth is being born now, through you, as you, with every choice you make to embody love instead of fear, presence instead of distraction, truth instead of comfortable illusions. You are the new Earth taking form in physical reality. You are the answer to the prayers that have been rising from this planet for generations. You are the fulfillment of ancient prophecies spoken in languages long forgotten but encoded in your DNA, waiting for this moment to activate. The Astasar command sees you. The galactic family knows you. The divine recognizes itself in your eyes. And though the journey ahead will ask much of you, though there will be moments of doubt and fear and forgetting, you will never again be as asleep as you once were. The codes are activating. The centers are opening. The remembrance is unfolding. And nothing in all of creation can stop what has been set in motion by the convergence of your readiness, the cosmic timing and the love that never stopped reaching for you even in your darkest forgetting. I am Seraphine. The Astasar command loves you and watches over you. And so it is. Transmission complete.